is our third lesson, and we're going to be learning about drawing and determining angles. So whenever we talk about drawing angles, we're going to be discussing how to actually draw them in a coordinate grid with radians, because we've learned about radians now and that they're a unit of angle measure. And we're going to start trying to step away from working in degrees and now start familiarizing ourselves with radians in the graphic form. In addition to that, we do need to learn how to determine coterminal angles. And coterminal angles are just two angles with the same initial and terminal sides, but different degree measures. And just really quickly, what that means is you might have an angle that is right here, and you can, you can have a terminal side right here and get to it by going in the positive direction, or you can get to that same terminal side in the negative direction, and then there's more than that even. So it's just two angles that look the same, but their degree measures are actually different. So if you flip over, we're going to do this top part in degrees, and then I'm going to start teaching you to think in radians. So at the top, an angle of x degrees is coterminal. So remember, basically means looks the same, or coterminal. It has the same terminal side. Literally, that's what it means. So an angle of x degrees is coterminal with angles of x degrees plus k times 360 degrees, where k is an integer. Now, this part's the mathematical part, okay? It's kind of like a definition. So a regular angle, x, is coterminal with every other angle, x, plus some number times 360. So let me hash this out with you a little bit more so you can understand what I mean. Let's first just graph the angle 225 degrees. So whenever we graph this, we need to go to 90, 180, 270. It's going to fall about halfway between 180 and 270. So there's my initial and terminal side. And this is a positive angle, so we're going to go counterclockwise, and we'll label it with theta. So we can call this like our initial angle that we're working with. This is our x for the sake of this problem. Now, to find a coterminal angle, we can use this formula. So we can find another angle that's coterminal with 225 by taking 225 and adding 1 times 360 degrees. This is going to give us a coterminal angle that's positive because our k is positive. And the angle that we're actually going to get is, what's 225 plus 360? That's 585 degrees. And so graphically, here's what happens. We know that it's going to have the same terminal side, so it's going to be right here. And here's our initial side. But what we do is we actually wrap all the way around and then go another 225 degrees. That's 580 degrees, or 585 degrees. So really, mathematically, what we did was we added one full rotation in the positive direction. That's what this plus 1 times 360 means. So up here, let's make a note about that. First of all, k is an integer, is meaning that k is a number, and it's really the number of rotations forward or backward. Now for this last one, let's go ahead and do a rotation that's backward. And since I wrote up here, I'm going to go ahead and put my work down here. But to do a rotation that's backward, we're going to take our main angle we're starting with, 225, and this time we're going to do plus -1 times 360. So we've made our K negative. And whenever we add 225 and -360, we should get -135 degrees. So remember, it should have the same terminal side, same initial side, but this time we're going backward. And so that's where we end up. And if you think about it, this makes sense because this is one full rotation backward from the angle 225. Okay, so that might have been a lot of information to take in, but one more time, coterminal means that these two angles that are coterminal look the same. They have the same terminal side and the same initial side. However, you can make coterminal angles using this formula. So you can take a base angle and then add full rotations of 360 either in the positive direction or the negative direction to come up with angles that are coterminal. They look the same, they just have different angle measures.